Are you ready?
Are you ready?
And okay,
Are you
it's
ready?
recording. Sorry, there was like a lag on my end about it.
Well,
Brothers,
sure. Always is.
sisters, under resistors. We're gonna start early tonight because, well, let me tell you, you're listening to one of many podcasts on planet God dang Earth that reviews anything and everything that's on Joey's stupid arbitrary list of comic book paraphernalias. This is the Rundown Reviews brought to you by the Comic Book Rundown. I, of course, am the man that burnt his house down because he had to take a metal spoon out of the bowl and put it in the microwave. I'm Chuck, and I, of course, am joined once again. Yep.
That
Yeah, I
feels
just
like
put it in.
you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, you would think. I don't even know why I left it in there, but then I proceeded to go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I heard these like popping, exploding sounds. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? And there's like shit
that's called
happening in the
pooping.
microwave. I was like, oh my god, I left a spoon in there. Yeah.
Lovely.
Did you use the same spoon to eat your soup?
Yeah, I still used it. I'm not gonna dirty another spoon. I have to do the dishes. I'm not dirtying another spoon. It was hot, I can tell you that. So fun fact, metal in the microwave not only explodes, but also gets really hot. So
No way.
yeah, who
Lovely.
would have thought? I, of course, am joined by the two idiots who never put a spoon in the microwave, Ron, and of course, our supreme ruler and reptilian overlord, Joey. You made
That's
us
me.
you made us watch specifically. Did you guys pay for this?
No.
No, it was on Amazon
Okay.
Prime and Peacock or something.
It was on
I mean, I
Peacock.
guess technically I did pay for it because I watched it on Amazon Prime and I pay for that stupid bullshit. By the way, 7 ads in this movie. I had to fucking 7 ad breaks.
Yeah,
I
well,
fucking
because
had.
it was provided by Freevee, which is part of the Amazon Prime. I could have went to Peacock and probably had no commercials, but
Not true. You get 200 and something seconds of commercials before the movie starts, and it's the same commercial over and over and over and over and over again.
that sounds like most of my podcasts. Like more recently, my podcasts have been repeating the same T-Mobile commercial.
Oh, T-Mobile?
For
It's
like-
not Chumba Casino?
For well, that was like about a year ago. I had like 8 Chumba Casino
yeah, not a sponsor.
episodes. Good. Yeah, no. Neither.
And frankly, if it
T-Mobile, 'cause I'm a
was,
Verizon
I would quit the show just on principle.
I
listening to that commercial.
which is fair.
Fuck you, Ryan Seacrest.
Wait, is he control that one?
He does
Is he part of that one?
he's the one that's doing it now. You know, he likes to have fun. He likes to work, but he also likes to have fun. It's hard to believe. That's how it like fucking starts every time, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Mine was always, I do it in the school or something like that. And
where's the craziest place you got lucky or something? Yeah, that one was playing for a while too.
Anyway,
kind of creepy.
No, so yeah, we watched Toxic Avenger
Part
2. This
was definitely something.
It was something. Like, I know I had sent the reminder out Saturday about watching this, and I think I watched it immediately after. Ron, you said exactly what you just said. It was a movie. And Chuck, I know you haven't said much about it since you watched it.
He did talk about good soup. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I did make soup while I watched this movie, which probably helped a lot.
The Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, honestly. Well, it does kind of look like swamp water. Not intentional, but there's kale in it, so.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that gets it every time.
Yeah. So I love Toxic Avenger. The first one is really good. Toxic Crusader, one of my favorite cartoons growing up. This ain't it, man. This doesn't have any of the original elements that made the first one like kind of special.
That's not true. It had tits.
Sure. And honestly, it goes further because we get like full blown like
nudity
in a bathhouse. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there was like a little bit of sex here and there in the first one, but not just like literally 3 minutes of fucking, which is what we got in this. And of course it was Toxic Avenger. Not really sure how his penis works, if I'm being totally honest with you.
I think that his leotard. I'm pretty sure that his leotard is actually his skin, And when
It
he gets an
definitely feels like it,
erection,
right?
it just stretches out from the leotard.
Okay. The mask did
it's-
look better in this.
Yeah, I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
And that's about where it stopped for me.
So right when it opens up, the theme song is fucking
I
terrible.
meant to write that down because it literally is everything from the first movie.
Yeah.
And
which I kind of appreciate. So I like the idea that this movie breaks fourth wall. I just wish it did it better throughout the movie.
Sure.
But like there's a couple of times where like they literally reference the first movie.
I did laugh when I think the one villain henchman lady was like, if you remember in frame 5 of the first movie when Melvin was at this gym and he got thrown into the whatever. I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. Like it's definitely, I don't know why you did that, but it was kind of, I chuckled at that.
So this is my thing about breaking fourth wall. I don't like it if it doesn't actually have something to do with the plot of the story. If breaking the fourth wall, like Deadpool's really good at like when he breaks the fourth wall, it's to further the story, right?
Yeah.
This was just like something to do for the sake of doing it. And that felt dumb. Like it has no purpose. So why, like ultimately why do it? Because you're literally just explaining the thing that the intro, like the open credit music, just explained to us all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I was looking up the IMDb trivia on this, and I was telling Ron this yesterday. Apparently, when Lord Kaufman made this, he had filmed like 4 hours worth of footage, and he was really freaking out because like he can't put out a 4-hour movie. His wife told him, like, well, why don't you just do 2 movies? So part 2 and part 3 technically are this, I'm not gonna say the same movie, but like one giant movie that got cut into 2, which is really interesting considering the ending of this wasn't really an ending. Like there was really no, like, Toxic Avenger comes back, cleans up Tromaville, and then the bad guys just run away. So like I almost feel like that was added in toward the end, especially the 2 bosses there on the road, like trying to hitchhike their way out. I feel like that thing was added to try and end this movie so that the third one could be its own thing, I guess. I don't know. We'll watch the third one later this year, but
it seems
it's part of the thing of
me.
Well, I was just gonna say because they had
this was a 4-hour movie. Because I watched this and I was like, we could cut this down to an easy hour. Like, there's a bunch of shit in here that does not need to be in here.
Yeah.
But that brings it back to like the fourth wall thing. We didn't need to have her bust out that fourth wall point in the base. I know that's only like a couple seconds, but you don't need to explain. And they had footage of it too. Like, you don't need to have it actually explain that to the villains. They apparently already know about Toxic Avenger.
As much as I love it, we didn't need that naked chick walking around dizzy for 20 minutes of the movie. Like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate it.
Like, as bad as that sounds, I mean, other than his girlfriend, maybe everything else kind of just like.
Oh, you mean the girlfriend that conveniently wasn't the same person or the same name as the first movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even, I mean, even the like the girlfriend, I'll use air quotes, in Japan, the Masami, she was, I guess, essential, but like, did we need to have her get almost raped there on the bridge?
Yeah, that was weird. Like, I know, when did this movie come out?
89. 1989.
Oh, 89.
89. Yeah. So this is 2 years after Spaceballs. Spaceballs came out in 87. And a lot of the jokes in this were like, felt like, oh, that was funny in Spaceballs. I use it and it's going to be satirical. Except for none of it lands because that's not good. My other takeaway is the jokes just kept going and going and fucking going.
Oh, like, that's your favorite. That's your favorite kind of joke, Chuck.
Well, but like there has to be a payoff. And there was never the payoff. Like, I love a joke that goes for 10 minutes, but then you get to the payoff, and that's what makes it funny. The Norm Macdonald, like trope of telling a really bad joke is that it's really bad, and then you get to the punchline, and the punchline's bad, and you've wasted somebody's time, but you got to the end of it. They just kept recycling the same joke over and over and over again, but it wasn't funny to begin with.
Listen, you got to understand that a bunch of innocent blind people got blown up, okay?
That was funny.
But, like,
I liked that.
But that was funny.
I didn't need a 35-minute fight scene that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, you got 5 people that come out of the car, the limo first, all with different attributes, which I also kind of...
is that what we're calling it? Attributes?
I'm going to say attributes. Okay. Personas, if you will. But then he handily defeats them.
Stereotypes, perhaps?
Stereotypes works. Characters works. But then, like, 14 more come, which is even worse stereotypes and caricatures. I did laugh. Yes, and then we'll get to that. I did laugh, though, when the little person came out and went up against him, and then he grabbed him by the neck. I fully expected him to, like, stretch him out into a regular person, because that's just how this franchise is.
That would have been really funny, actually.
Worked.
Yeah. But no, then they just kept making little people jokes about how he's like, it's like half a fight or whatever. And it's just like, this isn't... Yep. This isn't...
But you know one part about that fight that will never not be funny? When he gets nut shots. Because dudes getting hit in the nuts will never not be funny.
Yeah. And that was the funniest part, was like the repeated nut shot. Like, that was a good joke that ended up paying off. But
I did laugh. So I did when Michael Jai White showed up. I'm like, holy shit, that's Michael Jai White. And I looked up, this is his film debut, which I thought is interesting.
That's wild.
Okay. But I also kind of laughed because, like, his alarm goes off and he's like, oh, I gotta go to piano lessons, and he just kind of ninjas out. Just I laughed at that because I thought that was funny.
Like, that was a good joke, but like, what was the point? Like, what was the point of that joke?
There wasn't. He was the only one out of that group that actually survived.
Yeah,
but he actually had the bigger role later. So,
right, everybody literally got ripped and disemboweled.
Why was the fighting
I guess the dog
music...
person was alive too? Huh?
Why was the fight music "It Don't Mean a Thing"? Like, why?
I don't know.
Because they got the copyright to it? I don't know. Do you think they just went through a catalog and they're like, what's the cheapest song we can find?
Yes.
I guarantee they did that.
Exactly what it seemed like.
That's kind of what Troma films do. Like, they get the cheapest everybody that they can, and they put it in the movie.
Except for practical effects.
Shout out to my ex who worked for them. I can confirm. Yep, they got the cheapest, for sure. I really thought I was going to get Ron on that one. Okay, damn. All right.
I also will say that this was 10 years before Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, and they were talking about the Troma. Oh crap! What was it called? The Troma chlorians or something. Whatever. Particles was in him.
Tromatons.
Tromatons? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Tromatons.
Yeah.
You know, so like.
So what you're saying is
George Lucas. Yeah, stole it from Lord Kaufman. Yeah.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Did you see that the Twin Towers are in this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm shocked they didn't go back and edit that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people were actually watching this movie.
No, I don't think
unless it's for a stupid show like this.
That's fair.
They're not going to do it for Friends. They're not going to go do it for fucking Toxic Avenger. In fact, I think on principle, they would leave it in. You know, it's a movie of its time.
Well, I don't understand going through movies and fucking taking them out anyways. They were part of those movies when those movies happened.
Well, like, I know, like, Spider-Man, they took it out because that came out after 9/11.
Right. And there's a couple of movies where they've gone in and, like, when they released a deluxe version of it, they took them out of, like, background shots and stuff. I don't remember which ones, but I remember that being a thing that like edited, like that they were edited in that way, or if they were released for like TV, like TV.
I feel like I remember that too. Yeah. I also got like so we talked about the house for the blind or the school for the blind got blown up, but then later on when they're at the church, it seemed like the whole town was blind again.
Yeah. Oh, because they reused the same actors for everything? Yeah.
Literally 175 actors for this film. At least that's what IMDb said it was.
And some of them were the dead people from the first movie.
Yeah, and some of them were dead people from the blind house.
But I think like that is endearing to like the movie, right? Like it's supposed to be like, so like that's a fun little Easter egg if you're paying attention. That's
because they use the same people in like every movie.
Right.
The Troma Studios or whatever.
The Tromaville universe or whatever,
Yeah.
Exactly. The Tromaverse.
I think it actually is called Tromaverse.
Yeah, it's called like Tromaverse.
Troma Films or something like that.
And also the bad guy that works for whatever the evil company is, Apocalypse
Inc.
Yeah,
Apocalypse Incorporated.
Is the guy that eventually becomes the evil dude in Toxic Crusader.
Huh, really?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did Toxic Crusader come out after the first movie or after these two movies?
No, after these two movies. That was like a 90s
it was
cartoon.
90s, late 90s, early 90s. Yeah. Okay.
It was like early to mid 90s. There was only a season of it, and it went back with Captain Planet. It was like Captain Planet then Toxic Crusader.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that now. Yeah. Because I remember watching the cartoon. I don't remember anything from the cartoon, but I remember 100%. Watching the cartoon.
Like I know my local station, it was like Captain Planet, Toxic Crusader. Was it Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? Was the cartoon?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Did they also have Back to the Future cartoon as well?
Yeah, that was there, and
I remember watching that.
Something like in the block of like time, and it was like a not a basic. I guess it was basic cable channel.
Yeah, it was because I got it.
And then like that would lead into, and then I would flip the channel to Fox. Because Fox had like Power Rangers and Mystic Knights of Tyranno and like that whole like run too. So
X-Men, Spider-Man.
They had to have had this on like Saturday morning or something.
Yeah, that's what it was on. Like, it was ABC on. I think it was ABC or something because I was able to watch it and I only had the Farmer 5.
Same. So yeah.
Yeah, my local was a little different. It had like a not access, but like a. It was supposed to be like ABC, but it was like cheaper, and then we went to Fox, and like it was just on a different channel, a different time zone.
Gotcha.
It may have been, honestly, all may have been in syndication at that point, to be totally honest with you. Like when I was watching it may have all been syndication rotating through, so because I'm sure it was cheap as hell to watch them.
I'd more than likely. Yeah. I will. So at one point, he talked to his therapist who works for the Apocalypse Inc. and then is trying to seduce him, I think. But
I think that part of her therapy session was just fucking him.
Was she doing that? Was she actually having sex with him?
She definitely did.
You get to see her tit too. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but that's just. I mean, I think.
Oh, if that's the case, I've had sex with a lot of people. If that's
look,
the case.
the way that he has sex, that's how he has sex. So I don't know.
Maybe, but he did say like he didn't pay attention, and then one day she was very like overly enthusiastic about him or whatever he said, and that's when she climbed on him and basically told him he needs to go find his dad in Japan because why not? Well, I mean I know why. It's because the chromatons being made over there, I guess.
Well, because everything is better in Japan.
And
that's how you know they're evil.
Yeah, everything's made
Japan in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a good joke. That was a funny joke. Like
that was a good joke, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good joke. Like every once in a while they had a good joke, but then like
Yeah, but most
he
of them
goes
fell
to
flat on their
Japan,
face.
and it's 45 minutes of just not funny, like stereotype jokes.
Like I laughed when he came out of the water like Godzilla. Like that was fun. But then it was just walking and everybody is screaming. It's either and you know it was just whoever the actor was in the suit in Japan, and they're filming this on location because there are people staring at him like, what the hell's going on?
Do you think they actually shot that in Japan?
Oh, no, they went to like they did.
No, they probably went to like Little Tokyo or something.
Yeah, they probably went to Little Tokyo and shot that on the street with no permits, if I had to truly guess.
Yeah.
I don't see here's the thing. I don't think so because
none of the actors actually spoke.
Well, that.
Why does she sound like an old lady? Like, what the fuck?
Because, well, I think that's probably what we dubbed her. But
45 cigarettes a day.
The actress who played her, when I would looked her up, like looked up her credentials, there was a lot of adult movies on there. So I think they actually went to Japan and got these.
So like, believe it or not,
Japanese
they actually
actors.
make adult movies in the United States also.
They do, but Japanese adult movies?
Yeah.
I don't think they do.
Do they make Japanese adult movies in Japan? I thought that was like against the law or something. That's why hentai exists.
I've seen some of them. Oh. Pretty sure it works in
But
Japan.
were they made in Japan?
I don't know. I'm not looking at the
I know they can't show
the movie.
I know they can't show Hooter. They have to blur you have to blur that out. Like that's all.
Yeah.
That's why I found really strange is because like there's no way I was like, there's no way they shot this in Japan. There's like nudity everywhere, and like especially in the 80s. I'm like,
but they never showed the crotch. They showed the ass.
Oh, they did.
But they never showed
breast. They absolutely
showed crotch.
They showed breast.
Oh yeah.
When they showed crotch.
No. The whole time that girl was walking around like she was dizzy, she was completely nude, and
she had a cover over.
And then when they're in the bath, there is a lot of bush hanging out in the bath.
I mean, I do trust you on that one because you would pause.
Yeah,
I think
Ron, I'm not going to argue that.
Counted,
yeah.
But
I had to make sure that my count was accurate.
Oh, we got a bush count now? Good.
No,
Good.
just the boob count. But I wanted to make sure that none of them were the same one since it showed like 4 different scenes.
Oh, as you do. Yes, that makes sense.
I'm about accuracy.
Showing the scenes over and over again. The when him and Masami are getting attacked by the it wasn't the Yakuza. Crap, what was it? The 3 guys, the one like Kubachi, Kabuchi?
Kombucha?
Whatever. Kombucha?
Sure.
I don't know. When he keeps running away to the one like fish guy to grab
yeah.
Thing he's cutting up. Like, okay, the swordfish, I get. That's fine. That's whatever. I think what was the one after that? The starfish after that? Like,
yeah.
Okay. And then he goes and gets like a hedge trimmer that was shoved in the fish.
Well, okay, so there is actually a shark that has a nose like that.
He pulls a cord from the shark's back.
Well,
it's a fucking hedge clipper.
But I'm just saying that like there is actually a fish that has a nose shaped like that.
Okay. And then I think there was the hammerhead. I did laugh at that one though.
The hammerhead was funny, yeah.
The hammerhead was funny. Yeah. That was good. And it was like clearly styrofoam. Like they didn't even which is crazy because they used real dead fish for the like when they were doing the drug part. All real dead fish.
Which was another part I laughed at because
I'm pretty sure they used a real dead fish for the swordfish and the hedge trimmer fish too. They just had him shove his hand through it.
That hedge trimmer was definitely plastic.
I know.
You can definitely tell. But I did laugh when the Coke fell out of the fish and Masami is like has to test it, and she tests it and then tests it again and then tests it again and just keeps going back and back to it. She was kind of dumb.
She's I
mean, but like there it is. Like there's the joke. It just kept going, and then it's like okay, move on from the joke because we're not gonna. It's not gonna. There's not gonna be a payoff in 20 minutes. Like this is it. Got it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the magic got lost in this. This was Evil Dead. This was Evil Dead 2 for me.
Okay,
they got
you know what? I can give you that.
Yeah, they got a bigger budget. They were trying to do more in it or something, and all of it falls flat.
I can agree with that.
I did laugh when the car ran over the horse and buggy, though. See, it's like these little moments that I chuckle at, but the movie itself was just kind of like bad.
Okay, so speaking of bad and in cars, the chase scene at the end of the movie.
That was dumb.
That was the dumbest fucking waste of time. Like, that whole scene.
Yeah, it was like 15 minutes of them driving literally all around town, like around town, not even in town. And then what? He crashes into a garage.
Well, after
the mayor's head garage.
After the first movie, where they kept killing people with their cars, they weren't allowed to drive through town anymore.
That's fair, because they probably were actually killing people with cars.
Although just that one little kid.
Because of...
Oh my god,
True.
That's right. I forgot about
that.
That's what I thought. Like, that was a good joke.
Like, you know what? Yes. Thinking back on the first movie, that worked.
Yeah. And you know what? I wish they had made a reference to it. Like, nobody's allowed to drive anymore because they were murdered so many people in the first one.
Yeah.
Like that's when you can break fourth wall and it would make sense, right?
Yeah,
like,
because
that would have been funny.
I think at one point the Toxic Avenger or Melvin narrating was like, "Oh, I've got to survive. How else am I gonna make a Toxic Avenger 3?
Avenger 3, like, yeah.
Why? Like, you didn't need to.
Yeah.
I mean,
although in the very
because
beginning,
he had 4 hours of film, but
in the very beginning there was the they show the movie theater, and does it have a are they showing the Toxic Avenger movie?
I thought it was Trauma. It was like a Trauma thing.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure. I had missed it. I had heard the reference, but I wasn't looking at my phone when it.
Yeah, because when Apocalypse Incorporated took over, they were showing Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Good joke, guys.
I will say, going back to Japan though, I do give respect to that reporter, because all he was just doing his job the entire time. And when Toxie basically made the one woman a human transmitter, and his mic went out, he just looked around and was like, "Oh, okay," and he goes over to her and taps on the mic and just continues his speech.
Yeah. That was a funny joke. That was the payoff. That was the payoff for the 15 minutes it took us to get there. That was a good joke.
Yeah.
I think my other gripe was everybody was apparently speaking Japanese, but there was no subtitles to tell me
100%. Which was annoying as fuck.
I felt like I was watching Kill Bill again, because the first time I watched the first Kill Bill movie, it was a copy of my dad's that I didn't realize he had a bad copy and didn't have subtitles for any time that they spoke Japanese. So I watched the movie and didn't know what was going on for half the movie.
They also they also all it says with the closed captioning is speaking Japanese.
Yeah. Does it really?
Yeah, it doesn't even try to give me a translator or anything like that in this. But it would be fine if because sometimes they were actually being able to act the thing that they were saying because they had props to get there.
Sure.
But other times it's just this is just them speaking a bunch of Japanese and I have no idea what they're saying. And so I don't think I'm getting the joke here, other than they're speaking Japanese and I don't know what they're saying, and I guess that is the joke. I don't know.
It must have been because it was the entire movie. It'd been different if when he got to, because even when he went to the sumo wrestlers to save him, they spoke English the entire time.
Yeah.
They except for a couple of actual Japanese words that he then repeated.
Right.
But when he went to, trying to think real quick, when he went to see Big Mac, he spoke English. Nobody else spoke English. Everybody else spoke Japanese.
Yeah, and like
Right?
the payoff could have been, because he had like a horrific like stereotyping Japanese person speaking English voice.
Yeah,
But like
yeah, I did.
the payoff could be, okay, I've just watched them do this for 20 minutes, and then have Toxic Avenger like look at the camera and say, I don't know what they're saying, like break fourth wall and explain it that way too. So I can't
Something.
imagine how you feel, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Anything that would have, made it more sense instead of just having it in, Japanese, where we obviously, had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
What would have been funny if there was somebody holding up like cue cards that was
That
translating
would
it
have
all
been
the
great.
entire time.
I would have
That
worked
would have
that.
been
Yeah.
that would have been the most trauma thing ever, and that would have been trauma thing ever, and that would have been really good.
But isn't this like early trauma? Because
No, by this time they'd made at least 4 movies.
Was it?
Because didn't they have both of the Trauma High movies or something by this time?
Let me check. I thought this was. I mean, you may be right, but I don't remember. Let's see.
So were like all they were doing, were they just like making these super grindhousey low budget movies and then just taking them to like film festivals to try to build cult following?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it seems like.
Yeah. There's a really interesting
Maybe.
documentary on I think it was on Amazon, about the guy who played Melvin in the movie, because he just like up and disappears and nobody can find him for like 20 years or something like that.
The Toxic
he
Tutu,
turned
right?
into a
yeah, because that came up.
He turned into the Toxic Avenger. Didn't you watch the movie, Chuck?
Yeah, that's true. Good point. I didn't think about that. But yeah, it was like a whole thing where he like disappeared and they like try to figure out where he went and all this stuff. It's a really interesting documentary, and a cosplayer that I follow on Instagram, who for the life of me I can't think of who it is now, is in it in the very beginning at like one of the panels asking a question, and she's weirdly overly seductive to the camera about it. And I was like, hey, is this you? And she's like, oh my God, they actually released that? Like, she didn't even know that the documentary had finally come out. She's like, where is this? I was like, it's on Amazon. I was like, this is the only part you're in. She was like, my God, they recorded like an hour worth of stuff with me. That's all they used? I was like, apparently, I don't know. It was weird.
All right, so looks like this is like the 15th movie. Class of Nukem High came out before this. Obviously, Toxic Avenger, but then there's a bunch of other ones. The Girl Who Returned in '69, The Battle of Love's Return, The Newcomers, Schwartz, The Brave Detective, Sweet and Sour, Divine Obsession, Les Nympho Teens. My Sex-Rated
like
Wife, Exploring Young Girls, The Fur Trap, Disco Sex, Squeeze Play, Waitress, Stuck
Are
on
these
You,
porns?
The First Turn On.
These
think
sound
they
like
might
porn.
be. Then comes Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High, Troma's War, Toxic Avenger 2, Toxic Avenger 3, Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD. That actually sounds like I might want to watch that. That sounds like maybe fun.
Really? That sounds
terribly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
That's why Joey wants to watch it. He just loves his offensive to Asian movies.
Do.
Got it.
Trauma Theater, Tromeo and Juliet. Citizen Toxie. I forgot that was a thing.
It's like the fourth one, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't that like Toxic Avenger 4?
That came out in 2000, so we have a while before we get to that one. But there's one on here that he did. Postal. Is that?
Yeah, based off.
Isn't there like one called like the Poultrygeist or something that they did?
Yeah, I think that was a Trauma thing. But like, this
God,
is
that the one she was in? All right, well,
Woo-hoo.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it off camera.
Oh shit. Yeah, I feel like maybe that was. Sorry, I'm just getting lost here in the weeds. Producer.
So, okay,
yeah, I'm trying
to find,
I remember Postal being a thing that he did, and that was messed up.
Well, it was based off the video game, wasn't it? The video game Postal.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was a Lloyd Kaufman production.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
a Troma movie, if you
will.
Yeah,
but if there was a video game adaptation of a movie that Troma was going to do, Postal would fucking absolutely be it.
2007. Here we go. Postal. Yeah, because I remember watching it. It was messed. Nope, my bad. It's Uwe Boll. Or U Boll, however you say his name.
Really?
Who is a complete and total tool, from my understanding. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that makes more sense because he did all of the video game movies that were like not great. Like Blood
Such
Rain.
As?
And,
okay.
Oh, what was
Blood Rain? Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, no
Far
shit.
Cry, Alone in the Dark.
They made a Far Cry movie.
Well, so here's the thing. Whenever we get
Yeah.
House of the Dead. Whenever we get through one of our blocks, we're going to be moving over to video game movies. So
nice.
keep that in mind.
I mean, we've already covered a couple of those.
We did. And
Double Dragon.
I'll give you a hint. We're going to be covering a couple more later. So, like later this year.
Interesting.
Anyway. Yes.
I don't know how I feel about that, but okay.
I think you'll be okay with it.
I think I probably will. I'm
Don't
sorry.
think
I don't
you'll
know why
have
I
a
got
choice.
so aggressive about that. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like I know I'm not gonna like. I know I'm not gonna get like a fucking choice here, Joey. Like,
I mean, you do. You could just not show up. We'd be sad, but
would you? Would the
Actually,
ones of people that listen to this show be upset if I wasn't on that one time?
Yeah,
I think
actually,
so, because you actually kind of give a nice little. As much as I sometimes get annoyed by your rants, I do love your rants. So,
are there people that are like, "Hey, he's got a good point," or are they all just like, "Can you get this guy to shut the fuck up?" Like,
actually, I think they like to hear your point just so they know which side to stand against.
Yeah, that's super fair. Actually, that's usually how I operate. If I'm being totally honest.
So really I got nothing else. This movie was not great.
It's not. It's not.
Either one of you guys got anything else you want to bring up?
Okay, so at the beginning of it, when the dude's like punching the old people, I kind of feel that in my bones because I really would like to punch old people sometimes.
Yeah, super fair.
Yeah. And the dad's bad credit score was not a funny joke either. At like the last, like, I'm glad you.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad you beat up Big Mac
because he
ruined my.
Yeah, because he ruined my credit thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could. I mean, it's fine. I get it. I see what they were trying to go with.
Well, that's because at that point in time, credit scores were relatively new, so that was a funny joke, right? And now everybody's credit score is just a joke, so it's not funny anymore.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true too.
It'd be like that.
But all right.
Excuse me.
We got a kill count, which I've got a total of 29 kills. One of those being a horse. And I also have a limb count of 6.
So 29.
2 arms cut off. We had a leg cut off. We had a head cut off, and we had a fake leg pulled off. Yes, 29 for the kill count, which is slightly higher than the first film.
Higher than the first film, but still half of what Batman is. Just pointing that out there.
Yep.
Batman don't kill. Okay. Batman don't kill. But literally a walking like radiation killed less people than Batman. Had no problem literally disemboweling people. Killed less than Batman.
Turned a midget into a basketball and still killed less people than Batman.
I didn't want to laugh at that. I really didn't want to laugh at that joke, but man, I some reason just fucking lost it when he dipped him. I was just like, come on, man.
Again, I really wish he would have pulled him by the neck and he would have just became like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or something. That would have been like great.
And then he just walks away because he's finally not like a little person anymore, and like thanks him and like walks. Yeah, that seems like a very trauma joke, and yeah, I think it was a waste of opportunity.
Right? It was right there in their little face. Anyway,
well,
what is our bingo?
Oh, going to bingo. Okay, so obviously we've got unexplainable science all over the place.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean the Traumatons thing made a whole lot of sense.
Oh yeah.
We've got breaking the fourth wall, hero kills, villain monologues, an origin flashback, betrayal by a friend because I assume that he considered his therapist his friend, and nudity. And I'm pretty sure there was probably a Wilhelm scream that I missed, but I didn't.
Placement. Literally,
I forgot about product placement. Yeah, and I think that's it.
All right, Chuck.
Man, it's a little hard to figure out the Spawn Cave continuum on this because, like, even the practical effects probably back then didn't look good. You know what I mean? Like, the props look fucking terrible in this. They're awful. But
the guy's like glued on beard was bad.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I think that like is that's the charm of the movie is that it's all bad even for its time. Yes. I don't know. 5 out of 14 Spawn Capes, I guess. Like, it's all bad and it doesn't hold up, but I don't think it helped in 1989 either. So
that's fair.
That's fair.
I think it holds up for what it is still. You know
what I mean? That still ranks it higher than the Hulk. So I mean,
it is better than the Hulk. I mean, at least they used real dead fish. They killed that horse in real life. You know what I mean? Like, the tits were real.
That's true.
Did they though?
Some of them were.
If I can see them and feel them, then they're real. You know what I mean?
If you can see them bouncing. Yeah, they definitely. Just like when Arnie punched that camel. Yeah.
The audio's off here, so.
Gotcha. Yeah, they kill a horse. Arnie kills camels, like determined. Fun fact, real quick about Arnie. He did a interview with Stephen Colbert, and he says that his favorite action movie is Titanic. That because he does consider Titanic an action movie, which is interesting, but because he just thinks it's a really good story. Of all of his movies, his favorite action movie is Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and we should all go watch it because he's pretty sure he still gets residual checks from it.
Nice.
That's what I love about. Oh god, I love Schwartzy so much. Like for that very reason, it's like, yeah, let's go watch my movie. I got residuals. Like, he's also terrified of dying.
I love it.
Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary on Netflix about him, but he's like absolutely fucking terrified to die. Yeah, which is like really interesting. Yeah. Ew. That's why he that was his motivation to be a bodybuilder and all these things, because like he just wanted to be the healthiest, fittest version, which is weird because then he smokes like cigars all the time. But anyway, just weird.
Well, all right.
Well, what's our rating here,
Chuck?
Whoa! Oh
yeah,
you're forgetting something.
Your boob count.
Yeah, I took a lot of time to count every boob in there. And the irony is that we got the exact same amount of boobs as we got kills at 29.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. 29 individual boobs.
29 individual boobs, yes. We count them individually because sometimes you only get to see one, sometimes you get to see two. That's so, true. It'd be silly to count them in pairs.
I will say this, because of our rule of one kill, one attack, one kill, it would have been higher. Like, according to IMDb, their kill count is 66 because all of the blind people being killed off.
Yeah, it's only one kill.
That's only one kill. Yeah,
it's only one kill. only one kill.
Yeah.
So
and you can't.
Actually, I guess
you can't count
technically, technically, the blind people was 2 kills because there was one with the bomb, and then he shot the old lady with the machine gun.
Oh yeah, no, like that old lady was kill number 1. That was the first kill, and then the bomb goes off, which blows up everybody.
By the way,
All
the
right.
most ridiculous getting blown away by a fucking machine gun. Like you could clearly, like it looked like there was a rope pulling her. It was ridiculous. And like it had me there, and then
Which is
the 45 minutes of a like
that's what I'm
fight
saying.
scene.
Like there are little things in here that I laughed and chuckled a lot, but the movie itself is just terrible.
Yep.
And not good terrible. Like this isn't like
still,
it's so bad it's good. It just like
still not the
first
worst
one is
movie
so
I've seen.
bad that it's good. And all the jokes land, and it's really, and this is just not it. Not it.
It's just bad.
Yeah.
So what you got for a score, Chuck?
All right. Is this a Toxic Avenger movie? Yeah, it is. I mean, like it's pretty there. The jokes when they land were good, like we said, but I really do feel like the magic of the first one is like lost here. And it's hard, and I'm worried if the third movie is just the other half of this, I'm very worried of what that's going to look like.
Oh,
That being said, did I enjoy this? Yeah, but I also was making soup. You know what I mean? Like if I had to actually sit down.
Yeah, no, making soup is actually a really enjoyable thing, so I can get that. Like,
yeah, and like my full attention was on it, but not like I had something that like when I was kind of checking out, I could do. Otherwise, if I was watching this just normally, I would have been picking up my phone and like then totally tapped out of it. So I'm still gonna probably score way higher than it deserved. And I'm gonna say a 5.1. Because when the jokes land, they were really good. I mean, him dunking the little person was so fucking funny to me. I don't know why. So good. And it's a little messed up that that's a funny joke to me. All of the Asian jokes not funny to me at all. Like this is all offensive and not in a good way.
They were. Yeah, exactly. They were all just offensive.
Yeah, but like the little person getting
making a little person into a basketball is kind of funny.
It's like offensive, but it was funny offensive.
That's because we're tall people and we find that kind of thing funny.
Yeah, that's true. Joey.
All right. So this movie was dumb. Like straight up, and it's supposed to be dumb, I get that. But it was like dumb and not necessarily a good way. And all the boobs couldn't bring it back from being a bad movie. Especially when I feel like they almost overdid it. Like, was it necessary for that woman to walk around naked for like 15 minutes of the movie? No. Did she have nice tits? Sure. But there was no point in it. And there was the chasing in the car was stupid and pointless. There was so much wasted time in this movie that, like, I don't know. I would, however, still watch this before I watch the Hulk again. So I did give this a 2.1 to get it over top of the Hulk score of 2.
That's fair.
What about you, Joey?
Yeah, you guys aren't saying anything I can't agree with. This movie was just not great. It's the jokes were, some of them were dumb, some of them were good. Like I said, a lot of little good things. But like when he gets to Japan and then it's just nothing but racist things left and right. I just don't. The scene with the naked chick and the reporter, like he's hanging onto her, and the one fisherman is just staring, chopping away, and it's chopping Big Mac into pieces. Like I get to see a naked lady, but you cut fish all day long. I think you know the difference between a fish and something that's not a fish. So there's that.
I didn't get. I thought that was like him just having bloodthirst or something, because he was just whacking uncontrollably and like super excited about it, and he was.
But he was staring. He was staring off.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the joke didn't make sense. That's why it doesn't land.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like if he was blind, if that was the joke, and then like
Toxic, and that would have fit in with the rest of the movie. Yeah, that would have fit in with the rest of the movie.
Exactly. It's weird.
Anyways, Joey, what was your score?
Yeah, I'm giving it a 2.5. Like like I said, there's some fun stuff in there, but altogether it's just kind of I'm really afraid of what the third movie is going to be. Which gives us a combined score of 3.23, which will put it at tied with Buckaroo Banzai at 3.23. Which is still, it is above Hulk from 2004 or 2003, so that's good.
I think I would actually watch Buckaroo Banzai again before I'd watch this again.
Oh, I would. I'd also watch the G.I. Joe movie before I'd watch this again. The cartoon movie. Hell, I'd even watch Double Dragon before I'd watch this again.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you know how bored I was on.
Yeah, but
Double Dragon, so
Double Dragon did have Alyssa Milano, so I mean, that makes it worth watching right there.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But alrighty, yeah. So that brings us to the end. Chuck, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, on TikTok, Kicked Out of the Hood, No Being Kicked. You can find my hobby page over on Instagram, Kicked Out of the Hobby, No Being Kicked, and my kitchen TikTok stuff at Kicked Out of the Kitchen, No Being Kicked. And at time of recording, you will be able to soon find me on Elite 8 Showdown. Head over, check the archives. New season officially coming out. We start recording this coming Thursday. It is in books officially. The first 2 episodes will be out. By the way, if you have things that you want read for one of the bracket sponsors, let me know. Like, send it to me by Thursday. Just for do a little housekeeping here.
It's just gonna be us two hearing this. This comes out in a month.
Right, but that would be I mean, we'll probably still be recording, knowing how this recording schedule is going.
That's the joke, right? That's the payoff.
Yeah, that's the pay exactly. But of course, if you want to support us, head over to patreon.com/professional-casual for as little as $1. Get access to that Discord. But the 301 tier, that's the tier that supports us, that supports this show, that lets Joey not have a mental breakdown so he can afford his therapy sessions, so he doesn't lose his mind. So give us $3.01 so Joey can go to therapy and not murder people. Cool.
See, the bad thing is my therapy is podcast, but even that's not helping anymore. So
that's true.
I definitely need something else.
That's right. Hey, I didn't make one Zack Snyder joke, and I had a Zack Snyder joke loaded up.
And I appreciate that. Yeah, I do appreciate. I
had a really good one. I was really proud of it.
You should have said it.
No, it's too late.
Wait for the next one. Wait for the next Toxic Avenger.
No, it was very specific.
That's in a couple months,
movie, unfortunately.
Okay.
I will say the payoff in jokes. If they don't pay all of these jokes off in the third one, then I'm really going to be pissed.
They won't.
If they pay them all off in the third one, I'm changing my score for this movie. That is what I will. Or I will just make the third one super high. Back to, I think I gave the first one like a 9.
That's fair. Okay.
9.2, I think I gave it.
You get it was like a 9.98.
I think if I have it.
Did I go
9.7? You gave it a 9.7. You like.
I'm such a dick. Well, that's because I knew Jordan was in nuke from orbit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Jordan gave it a 1, so it definitely evened out.
Yeah,
I think
overall, can you imagine if he actually had to watch this? Oh my god, he would have been fucking furious.
He might have been. He might have been.
Ron, where can they find you?
So,
you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Good at This Game. You can find my art stuff on Instagram at Good Art This Game, and I guess celebration of finding out that Elite 8 Showdown is coming back, everybody needs to call Tim on the network number with a recording of you taking a piss. Not viewing you taking a piss, just the sound of you taking a piss, because I don't think he's gotten that in a long time and he needs it.
That is not true. I sent him a video of me peeing, telling him we really need to get these, like, figure out a schedule and stuff. And he was, I think I did that. He was at some function. He was at something.
Oh.
He's like,
perfect.
I just started playing it and there were people around and it's just you taking a fucking piss. I was like, that's it, baby. That revenge joke is my favorite joke. Yeah.
Love it.
All these years
Love
later.
it.
Joey, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Comic Book Rundown, Threads at Comic Book Rundown, email us comicbookrundown@gmail.com, rate and review us on your podcasting app of choice. If you do, we'll read it on an upcoming episode. We've got merch over on Redbubble and TeePublic, and our song was done by Cam. Our next movie, and this one might be a little tough for you because it's not streaming anywhere. You can't buy it. So it may be a repeat of Invincible Iron Man because we're watching the animated Doctor Strange movie from 2007. So you could just show up and we can tell you about the movie.
I'll see if I can find it on Daily Motion first. Let me see what
That's
I can
fair.
hunt down and find. Because I couldn't even find it on Daily.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't find Invincible Iron Man on Daily Motion. If they don't have it on
Which
Daily
is
Motion,
weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you might be able to find
yeah.
it like piecemeal on YouTube or something.
You couldn't even find that on of it either, which I thought was weird.
Joey,
who put these out?
Marvel.
Yeah.
So Disney doesn't have the rights.
I literally
to it?
just gave you that DVD, so you
Lionsgate.
check that.
Lionsgate.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like the Ultimate Avengers 2, Doctor Strange, Hulk versus Wolverine, Hulk versus Thor, Planet Hulk, Next Avengers, the Invincible Iron Man, and Thor: Tales of Asgard are all in this little bundle. So, Joey, don't forget that you gave these movies to me in case you need to watch them.
Oh, I mean, I gave that to you. Like that's for you. I've got like out of those 8, I've got like 5 of them. So
sweet.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So, Chuck, if you just want to come over and watch it with me, we can do
2007, 2008.
I mean,
that's fair.
I am. I think I. No, I'm not off next week. I'm off the following week.
I will. I'll put it on. I'll put my phone up and I'll flip the camera around so you can see the screen, and then we'll just watch it like that.
You know how many times I've done that for pay-per-views for people? Like,
fuck yeah, like wrestling pay-per-views.
Yep, 100%. Like I just held the phone up.
Speaking of,
yeah, no, it's
to get to here in a second. So
I'm 5 minutes late to watch Sting's last match ever. So,
all right, well let's get out of here.
Thank you, y'all.
Bye.
We'll see you later.